Hey guys, so today we are taking a deep dive into one of the most interesting rugged smartphones that just popped up online, the Doogee Blade GT Pro. Now this device is expected to join the Blade GT series very soon. You know, we've got the Blade GT and the Blade GT Ultra. So the Blade GT Pro will definitely join the series very soon. And there's also another device called the Blade GT Play that's also expected to join the Blade GT series very soon. Now, just a heads up, this phone hasn't officially launched yet, so everything we're going to be talking about comes from early leaks and unofficial sources, so keep that in mind as we explore what this device might offer. That said, it's looking like a powerhouse, so let's jump right in. So according to the leaks, the Blade GT Pro is built like a tank, and I mean that in the best way. It uses a combination of metal, aviation aluminum, polycarbonate, ceramics, plastic, glass, and even high-strength rubber. That's an ambitious materials list. It sounds like Doogee is aiming for an ultra-rugged feel while keeping it sleek and futuristic. If these materials check out, this phone is going to be both shock-resistant and premium feeling. Definitely made for adventure, but of course clumsy hands. The front houses a 6.72-inch Full HD Plus display with a 2400 by 1080 resolution and a 120Hz refresh rate, which is great for smooth visuals, especially in gaming or scrolling heavy apps. Now here's something to note. This leak says it's got a wardrobe notch. Of course, the leaked image also revealed that as well, so it might be legit, while some earlier renders shows a punch hole design. So we'll just have to wait for confirmation. Either way, the panel is an IPS LCD panel and it's protected by Corning Gorilla Glass, giving it a good balance of color, clarity, and durability. Now let's talk performance. We're looking at the MediaTek Dimensity 7300 chip, clocked at 2.5 GHz and paired with the ARM Mali G615 MP2 GPU. That's an octa-core setup that should handle most demanding apps, multitasking, and even mid to high tier mobile games comfortably. 16 GB of physical RAM, that's for the memory, with support for up to 16 GB of virtual RAM for a possible 32 GB in total. That's serious laptop level memory on a phone. And of course, we're talking about flagship phone level as well. So some sources claim that the Doogee Blade GT Pro has just 12 GB RAM that is also virtually expandable. Anyways, the storage is 512 GB, some sources claims 256 GB, but this seems to be more legit. With expansion support via microSD card up to 2 TB. That's right, 2 TB. You could probably back up your entire digital life on this phone. Now on the camera side, it's packing a 100 MP main sensor, which is definitely flagship territory, but of course, just megapixel sizes isn't enough to determine if a phone is capable of taking high quality photos or not. There's also an 8MP ultra wide and a 2MP depth sensor, rounding out a triple camera setup. It's likely aiming to cover most everyday shooting needs, which includes wide landscapes, portraits, and sharp details. Now front facing camera, you get a 32MP selfie shooter tucked inside the notch. Another strong spec for social media creators or video call users. Now in terms of connectivity, the Blade GT Pro supports 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and NFC. It's expected to support Wi-Fi 6 actually. Navigation is covered by all the major systems. We're talking about GPU, GLONASS and the others. While you're driving or hiking remote trails, this phone should have no problem locking on and keeping you on track. Now for security, it's got both Face ID and a fingerprint scanner, most likely side mounted. Other sensors include the usual lineup. We're talking about accelerometer, gyroscope, proximity sensor, and more, which are good for motion tracking, fitness, or even augmented reality features. Now battery life is expected to be solid thanks to a 5800 mAh capacity. That's a pretty big cell, especially for a phone that's only 10.5mm thick. That's right, this is one of the thinnest rugged phones, guys. It also supports fast charging, although we don't have exact wattage figures yet. Still, with a battery that big, quick top-ups will be essential, and it looks like Doogee is prepared for that. Now moving on to durability. This is a rugged phone, so durability is essential. This phone isn't just rugged by looks, it's certified though. It's not just rugged by looks, it's also stylish, but it's actually certified. It's durable, it's strong. According to leaks, it has IP68 and IP69K ratings, and it's also military grade standard 810H certified. That means total dust protection, resistance to high pressure water jets, and drop survivability. And get this, it can be submerged up to 2 meters for 30 minutes in water and still function, which means this device is perfect for harsh environments, travel, or just everyday accidents. Now for a really cool touch, Doogee has added what we call stylish LED ring at the back of the phone, similar to the Doogee Blade GT and the Blade GT Ultra. This is purely for aesthetics, notifications, and photography lighting. Either way, it adds personality and makes the phone instantly recognizable. So that's our first look at the Doogee Blade GT Pro. Based on leaks and early info, if even half of these specs are accurate, we're looking at one of the most feature-packed rugged phones ever made, and all for around $400, with a launch expected on June 16th. Just remember, these are unconfirmed specs. Doogee hasn't officially leaked the device yet. Things could change, so take it all with a grain of salt. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's also the Doogee Blade GT Play. Now, this device is expected to feature similar specs as the GT Pro, except for some few major differences, one of which is the processor. As I mentioned earlier, the Blade GT Pro is powered by the Dimensity 7300 according to the leaks, but according to the leaks, the Blade GT Play is going to be powered by the Dimensity 7025 processor. So the Pro version is expected to be much more powerful, and of course it's going to be much more expensive than the Play version. Okay, so the Blade GT Play also would have about 12 GB RAM and 256 GB internal storage. It's also expected to have the same 100 MP camera, although the other camera sensors are not revealed. The device would also have a 32 MP front facing camera. It's going to feature the same 5800 mAh battery and support 18 watts fast charging. The fast charging of the Pro, I don't know that yet, but it might be the same thing as the GT Play. The GT Play would also have the same display as the GT Pro. So these are just some of the top features of the upcoming GT Pro and GT Play. As I mentioned earlier, these specs are based on leaks, rumors. They are all from unofficial sources, so please take them with a pinch of salt. All right, anyway, what do you guys think? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next update. Peace out.